Hello and welcome to the Passenger Seat Podcast, a podcast designed to fill your passenger seat with chat about classic cars, all recorded from my 1968 Morris Minor Peggy. I'm Becca and today we're at the Classic Motor Show at the NEC and we're actually going to go and check out some of the cars that you can see just behind me. It's been a very busy NEC for me and we've got lots of content that's coming for you. The lighting will be iffy because the lights outside of the cars are beautiful, but it makes the inside of the cars difficult to see. So if you're watching on the YouTube, apologies for that, but I will include some beautiful footage of the cars from the outside as well. And we're going to start off with today's episode talking to some of the brilliant women who have brought their cars along to go on the Women Drivers Social Club stand, which is over there. And then Peggy's over here on the young members stand, and we'll be talking to some of the young members who've got their cars here as well this weekend. So without further ado, we'll get chatting to our first owner, hear a little bit about them and their stories with their cars, and also why it was important for us to have a stand here at the NEC to talk about what the Women Drivers Social Club is all about. It's been fantastic. We've had such a brilliant reception here, and I think it's lovely to share how much fun the women have had here, all the things that they've enjoyed about it, and get ready for all of our upcoming events as well. So I hope you enjoy hearing about their brilliant and really cool cars, and I'll be back at the end to wrap things up. So we are now sat in Vic, the beautiful Mexican VW Beetle owned by Tash, who I can't believe hasn't been on the podcast yet.
Somehow I've managed to avoid it this time.
Because there must be, what, 3 or a fair few nationals that you've been at with the Morris Minors.
At least a few.
And the women's weekends and everything, but you've avoided it for so long. But you're here on the NEC stand.
Here I am, yes, for the women's group.
Yeah.
I always end up being at Morris Minor things and not having a Morris Minor. It's not always the easiest to get me to talk about things because I never know what to talk about.
But talking about Vic, you're very happy to do.
I'm much more knowledgeable about German Mexican cars than I am about British ones.
Which is what we're going to talk about. So, how long have you had Vic?
I bought her at the end of 2019.
Yep.
She was a complete rust box at that time. So I sent her away end of 2019 to get some work done. Obviously COVID happened, and a lot of things happened with the people that I sent her to originally to do the work on her. So I ended up eventually sending her to 2 other people to get more work done, and we got her back in the middle of 2021. She's been my daily driver ever since then, and she lives outside by the sea in North Wales.
Protected as best you can.
I try.
But you love her.
I love her, and I'd rather that she's out on the road and actually driving than to keep her locked away somewhere, hidden away and never driven. So it's
and your latest project, having done all of that bodywork and stuff, has been improving the interior, because that was in a pretty bad state.
Yes, the seats when I first got her weren't too bad, but I think the people that I sent her to maybe left the seats outside or something. Yeah. And the vinyl just started peeling off, and it was horrible. And it just let her down, because she looked so nice from the outside, but then the interior was so sad. So I've recently, as of earlier this week, put these seat covers on, and we've got new door cards, and she's looking better than ever.
And they've got lovely little pockets in, because the guy you sent it to was like, hey, do you want these lovely little pockets in the doors? So perfect
there
daily
should be an Allen
spec.
key in that one from putting the door cards back on again, and I hadn't taken it back inside the house.
Oh, amazing. So how have you found the NEC?
I always love it here. I've been here a few times, like we said, with the young members Morris Minor stand opposite, and it's nice for me to actually get to talk about my own car for a change. Yeah. So I always love it here. It's a bit tiring, especially when it took so long to get down here. Yeah. But it's always worth it, and it's great to talk to people and to make new friends and see people that I haven't seen for half a year or anything. Yeah. But I love it.
And how have you enjoyed the Women Drivers Social Club having a stand?
I think it's great. We've had so many people come up to us and be like, I haven't seen any other women groups around, and we've had men even also that have come up and said, oh, my wife's got this car, this is my wife's car, me and my wife are working together on this car or things, I'll take this for her because she's not here today. Yeah. So even though it's a club for women, it's connecting with people. Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether you're women or just someone in your life is a woman who enjoys cars, but it's great fun.
Yeah, and we've been really fortunate that the 4 cars that were offered, well, we had quite a few cars offered for the stand, but the 4 that I had to make difficult decisions to narrow it down for have all been so interesting that people have loved coming up and talking about them and asking about them. Drawing people in. And you being not only a Beetle, which weirdly in these halls has always been quite rare.
Considering that there were so many of them made.
For so long.
For nearly 60 years, I think, of actual being created and built, and I think it's been overtaken now, but for a long time they were the highest made cars in existence.
Yeah.
But you barely see them around.
Yeah, and at this show, not very often. And then we've had lots of little kids coming up and being like, oh my God, a Herbie, a Beetle, and stuff like that. But also, it being a Mexican one, again, makes it quite unusual in that it's a little bit newer than I think a lot of people think about as Beetles.
Yes, yeah. And you often get quite purists about Beetles being, oh, it's a Mexican Beetle. But there's so many different interesting things about it that I love.
Yeah.
Little bits that here and there, you'd be like, oh, that's off an older one. Oh, but that's off a newer one. And it confuses
because they were real, like, bitzers in terms of, like, having a windscreen off of this and a bit off of that. And
yeah, a lot of people just think that the Mexican ones were whatever's left in the factory.
Yeah.
And they just take all of the bits and push it together. So some people think that means that it's a worse car. But I honestly find the reliability and the work that has gone into this car is no different, if possibly better, because of it being newer than some of the older cars.
And she's only just recently celebrated being tax-free.
Yes, this year is her first year of having no tax, which is perfect timing for them to double my insurance instead.
Oh.
Well, we love
that. We love that. Yes, excellent. So, what was it that attracted you to getting a Beetle in the first place?
I don't know. I've just always loved the look of them. I remember me and my friend in primary school were arguing about which cars that we wanted to have in the future.
Yeah.
And she wanted a Mini, and I always wanted a Beetle.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, because I never was really into the Herbie movies either.
Yeah.
But something about them, I think it's the shape or...
And your dad's into cars, but again, not Beetles or anything like that.
Yes, again, British cars. He's had A35s, and he's had all of the old British cars. And everyone that I hang around with don't seem to like Beetles, but Vic has taught them.
Yeah, Vic is the exception to everyone's rule. Everybody loves Vic.
Yeah, like, I don't really like German cars, but Vic's good.
Yeah, it's the Mexican in her that, like, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. So, what's one of, like, your best memories that you've made since having Vic?
Well, living in North Wales, there's just so many beautiful roads that there are to drive around. And I always thought, when I get my own car, when I get a Beetle, and I pass my test, I just want to go and drive around the mountains.
Yeah.
And specifically, I had an image of me driving around North Wales in Snowdonia, listening to the How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack.
Oh my gosh.
It's just so good and so epic for driving through mountains.
Yeah.
So that was exactly what I wanted to do.
One of the first big drives I did with Peggy was through, like, Snowdonia and stuff like that. And I was really not very good at hills, and I wasn't used to actually having to use the gears to help the engine. So it was a real challenge, but, like, the other challenge was that you're so distracted by, oh my God, this is such a cool place to be driving.
Oh, I need to slow down for that corner.
Yeah. Or, oh, that's a big hill coming up. I need to make sure I'm in the right gear for it and everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, amazing. What's future plan for Vic?
Just keep using her. Just keep using and driving and getting more miles on the clock. When I first bought her, she had 99,000 miles. We have gone through the 0 miles together, so now we're working up together. We're up to 5,300 miles, I can see here.
Yeah.
And it's a great way for me to envision my time with her, because it was almost like she became a new car when I bought her. She went away for restorations. She has become the new car that I wanted, and we're working together to drive.
Oh, so forever car?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, thank you very much for talking to us, and thanks for all your help on the stand. Mm-hmm. And obviously also the help with the Christmas cards that we've got for the Women Driver Social Club that you've done. Because you're an amazingly talented artist with Ty Arth, and you've done some beautiful cards for us that have a little red Beetle on them. And obviously anyone can buy those on your Etsy shop as well as through the Women Driver Social Club.
They'll be available year round, and hopefully next year we're planning on getting maybe a new design, a couple of different cars on there for a change.
Absolutely. Yeah, amazing. Thank you very much. We're now in Katie's beautiful Scirocco Sylvester, and this is my second time sat in Sylvester because he came along to the Weekender and you took us all to the pub.
Yeah, albeit a bit squeakily with the back wheels rubbing. I've not had passengers since I've lowered it, and we soon found out that maybe I shouldn't have passengers.
Yeah,
when it's
friend
lowered.
limit is 1 or 2 at a push.
Yeah.
Yeah, but amazing car, and I'm so happy that you offered us it for the stand because it's drawn in so many people. For those who don't know, why a Scirocco?
Well, actually, the story starts. I always wanted a Mark III Scirocco, sort of before I got into classics, and then realised they were very expensive and started looking at the older ones. Yeah. And when I was an apprentice, the guy who was teaching me was like, "You need to get a project to learn on." And I looked at golfs and stuff like that, and then I just saw the Scirocco and just fell in love with the shape of it. And just how cool it is, and it's like an 80s coupe, and how you don't really see them. Like, you see a lot of Golfs and even Corrados, but you don't see the Scirocco a lot.
No.
So, and I always root for the underdog.
I was talking to someone who took an interest in the car, and they were like, they were rare then, and now they're even more unusual, and that's what's really drawing a lot of people to come and have a talk about it with us.
Yeah, a lot of people go like, "Oh, I had one of those," or "My mum had one of those." A lot of mums and aunties had them. Yeah, so a bit of a woman's car, I guess.
Yeah, and beautifully displayed on the Women Drivers Club. So how long have you had Sylvester?
5 years.
5 years. And he's a forever car for you, isn't he?
Yeah. If I put a post up saying for sale, I've been kidnapped. That's my way of letting you all know.
Yes, keep an eye out for that one. And so why did you want Sylvester on the stand?
Well, I like the idea of perfect partners because I do feel like a very close connection with this car, and I sort of every time I see it, I just feel really proud.
Yeah,
like my child.
Yes.
You know, like I catch the reflection in the window of a shop, and I'm like, God, that's so cool.
Yeah,
like, that's
and
mine.
I'm driving it.
Yeah, like this is my car, and it's exactly how I wanted it to look, and I've done it all myself, and it's just like an extension of myself.
Yeah,
so I just felt like it fitted the theme very much.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's been a perfect partner for you this year because you've had the Lancaster and Practical Classics Bright Young Spark Award. Radwood. And he's a proper little celebrity this year.
Everyone's probably sick of the sight of me in this car now. They're like, oh God, this one again. Oh.
But you've got other cars as well.
Yeah, I've got 4 others. Yeah.
So
maybe next year they can have a bit of the limelight as well.
Yeah. This year's been Sylvester and News year, so perfect partners with someone else next year.
Yeah.
Give Sylvester a little rest.
Yeah, bless him. He's done all sorts of miles this year.
How have you found being on the stand?
I've really enjoyed it. I've met a lot more women than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And so many of them will just sort of come up and go, yeah, oh, I've got like Jackie with I've got a Fiat Topolino, and it's like, oh wow, and they'll say like, oh, I've got a Land Rover, or I've got this and that, and these women who you wouldn't think they're just being dragged around by their husband, but they've also got their own stories, and like, oh, I'm an engineer and it's stuff like that. We always seem like a minority, but when there's actually quite a lot here.
Yeah, we've been really busy, especially today. We've been really busy, and I think that thing about like, oh, they're probably being dragged around. I reckon a lot of other stands probably think that and maybe don't have the conversation with them.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of them have been able to come here and tell us about them and
you sort of see their face lit up when it's like another woman understands.
Yeah.
Like that, when the thing of is that your husband's car, or when they arrive to a show and they're driving it and the husband gets out in the passenger seat, but they all talk to the husband. They're all like nodding like, yes, oh my God, that's so annoying. So, yeah. Oh,
good. So it's been busy. How have you found being here for the whole weekend? Because you haven't done displaying at this show.
No, I haven't. No.
You did the Resto show
in March, but that was the first time I'd done an NEC display. So I've eased in. I started with the smaller one. And now I knew this one was going to be big, but you just forget how bleeding big it really is. Like today's the first time I've had a chance to walk around it, and I'm absolutely knackered, and there's still loads of stuff I haven't seen, but I'm just ready for a nap.
What's the favourite thing you've seen so far?
I'm trying to think. There's an Audi RS2 and the Quattro on his club stand, and that is my dream car. And people say, if you won the lottery, what would you get? Audi RS2 in Nogaro blue, and that's what's there. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, my dream car.
Yeah, we were eyeing up some cars over in Hall 1, and you need big pockets for the ones in Hall 1. It's like, this is very beautiful, but more than a dream car, more than a few wins on the lottery for some of those. Yeah. why do you think it was important for us to have a stand at this year's show?
I think it's because as I've been chatting to people, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's good to have that space. And we've had a few like young people who, maybe there was a girl who inherited a dad's Alpha 33, and she said, I want to work on it, but I don't know where to start, and it's a bit daunting. And you go to garages, and the mechanics just are really patronising and talk down to you, and it's just nice to have that space where they can learn the confidence, and because I was quite fortunate in that I was headstrong and stubborn enough that I would just go, become a mechanic. But not everyone else is that, confident about it.
They now know that there's a space that they can ask those questions, but also there's a group of women that are going to encourage them to be that headstrong and get that involved with.
If you see someone like you doing it, you think, oh, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for having a chat. One last question. Mm-hmm. What is one of your best memories from having Sylvester?
Oh, probably this year, just like this year in general.
Yeah.
It feels like everything that I've worked towards in this car, especially Radwood, that was like the one show that I tried for.
Yeah.
All the rest of them I just sort of turn up and walk away. But that's one that I actually try really hard for. So to win, I mean, I never thought I'd get a Radiston show.
Yeah.
I was hoping for maybe like
we're so proud of you.
But best, like, I don't know what the categories are, best coupe, best hatch or whatever. I was kind of hoping for that, but to get best in show, like the show that I wanted to win at, that's probably the biggest highlight.
Oh. And it's on display here at the NEC
just
with
put it in the boot.
In the boot, just casually.
Yeah, like, oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw.
With all your 80s gear and stuff in here.
Yeah, all the period accessories as well, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you ever so much for bringing it along and helping us out on this stand all weekend.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I hope you have a brilliant Sunday after this. And thanks again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So we're joined by one half of the infamous Clare and Mush, who own the even more infamous Flying Sausage, the Alamo Beige MGA, that we're now sat in. Here is a miniature, if you're watching on the YouTube. And you've brought it along to the Women Drivers Social Club to some of our events, and then brought it along to the stand for us.
Yeah, well, I successfully managed to get here for a change, We have had incidents over the... last year, Women's Social.
Because you've not had it long.
No, bought it last year. Saw it, loved the colour.
Yeah.
Mush hated it. So I actually had to divulge the fact that I bought it
already.
And it wasn't just a case of, oh look, I'm showing you this car like I normally do. I'd actually bought it by accident, might I add, because I didn't think that my bid would be high enough to actually purchase it. I put it in thinking, and then I won it.
Oh.
And I realised that what it was I don't think men, especially, particularly liked its colour.
Yeah.
Because in the light of the camera, it doesn't look the colour it is necessarily in a normal light.
Yeah.
So I actually got it cheaper than I'd anticipated.
Mm-hmm. Bargain.
I think it was a bargain.
Yeah.
Well, I did up until the point where the clutch went within the first sort of 100 miles.
Yeah.
That was another story. But we fixed it.
Yes. Because you were very hands-on with the cars.
Tried to be.
Yeah. Learning as you go, because you own a lot of cars, so being hands-on is helpful because it saves you some money.
A lot of.
Yeah.
So they're all a pain in the bum.
But not one of these, so you're still learning new stuff and things with it.
I've never had a B series engine. I mean, we've got Morris Minors.
Yep.
And we've got a Mini. So the A series engine is reasonably familiar, but I'm a Volkswagen person. I've been involved in Volkswagens for 25 years, probably longer than that. So I've come from an air-cooled perspective.
Yeah. More
recently into a water-cooled perspective, but I've had to readjust my brain really to work with water-cooled cars.
Yeah.
And having worked on the Morris Minors, I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
In fact, I fell in love with them totally. So that's one thing we've got in common, isn't
it?
Yeah, we love Peggy. Oh, we've got 4 Morris Minors.
Just a few, because you've got 25 cars or vehicles in total.
29.
29.
Yeah.
I think I put over 25. Just
you did.
To
You weren't entirely sure. In fact, it might be 30 as from the end of today, but we won't go too far into that until I've told the wife.
Would you want this to go out, this episode?
Yes, it may well be in the garden by that time.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a Citroen DS with a friend.
Lovely.
It needs work. But I don't mind a bit of hard graft. I'm quite used to it. I enjoy it. I like working on spanners. I like mechanical stuff. Always did. I always used to take things to pieces as a kid, put them back together, see how many pieces were left over.
So what was it about the sausage that appealed to you in terms of, like, you've got such a vast fleet?
Yeah.
What does this offer that everything else didn't?
I'll tell you what it was. I blame Charlotte Bowden, actually, because she showed me Frisky on one of the women's events.
Yeah.
And mostly at that point it was pictures of, and then we saw one, didn't we, when we were out on one of the...
Yeah. We went to that MG garage.
And I saw one, I thought, oh God, that's got a lovely backside. And I do like a nice sleek back end.
Yep.
I wasn't entirely taken with that particular model. It was the Mark II.
Yeah.
So I went looking at that point just to see what was available and see if there was anything that might take my eye. And at that time there really wasn't. But I've done quite a lot of research. So I knew the sort of money that I was looking at if I wanted to buy one of these.
Yeah.
And it's really 25,000 and above, unless they're pretty tatty. So I thought, I'll have a look on Car and Classic and just browse.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes. That's probably why I've got so many
I think
cars.
we all do. Yeah.
It's the loving and wishing and the hunt. I love the hunt.
Yeah.
And this popped up and I thought, oh God, that's gorgeous. Now I think it's one of those cars where you either go, that's gorgeous, or ugh, I don't like it.
And we've had that all weekend, and that was kind of part of why we put it on the stand, is we knew it would get people talking, and interacting with the car, and then we could start talking to them and get talking about the club and everything.
Yeah, it does draw people in, and certainly, and most people don't believe that people are offered this colour.
Yeah.
This is a 1959 actually, so it was registered in 1960.
Yeah.
But it was one of the actual colours that you could choose for this car. Not many people did. That's the reason why everyone goes, that was never a factory colour. And we have to prove to them that it was.
Yeah, you've got your printout. It's been on the seat.
Yeah,
we've been throwing it about at people. Look.
Yeah. Here it is, and they can't believe that, because these were all red or green or white, or some blue ones, but most of them were manly colours. I think it was directed at
the GIs and
the
stuff.
GIs, exactly.
That fell in love with the MGs when they'd come over in the war, and they still wanted them after the war, and they were sending the A's out there.
You got it. Yeah, it's exactly right. Yeah.
I don't know a lot about MGs, but I know that.
Research. yeah, that's exactly right. So that's what happened, and I think they like their women, and I think they like their cars.
Yeah.
So 101,000, and someone's taking a photo of it right now. 101,000 went to the States, and 5,800 stayed here, and this is one of them that stayed here.
Did it?
Yeah.
See, I could imagine this on like Californian strips and everything in this colour. I always assumed it had been one that had gone over there and then come back. But I suppose no, it's on this side of the.
It is. It's not been modified in any way. I mean, we can tell, but I know I've got its heritage certificate, and it's always been here. It's just amazing it's not rotted to the floor, because it's a British car. It's got wooden floors. So but they're all in good shape. But there are things that I need to do to the car, so I paid a price for it, but I've still got to spend some money on it. It didn't come, well, we know, because it broke down, didn't it?
But it provided lots of fun and a learning opportunity for us all.
It kind of made the weekend. It is what classic car driving is about.
Yeah,
it's about,
absolutely.
if you get there, brilliant. If you get there and you limped there, well, also brilliant. If you didn't make it, look how many people come and help you.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. I mean, I know there's some awful pictures with my bum in there.
And we put them on the stand on display as well.
I appreciated that. But the people that jumped in to try and help, it was lovely. Clare and her gearbox knowledge.
Yeah.
And Charlie and her car full of bits and pieces.
Yes.
Everything helped. And I got home. I managed to limp home without the use of the clutch. Did 60 miles and then it was enough.
Yeah.
But got it home.
Yeah. So how have you found being part of the club?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I'm not too vocal.
No. We love it.
I normally am. But I'm enthusiastic.
We are the club for noisy women, so.
Yeah, I think so. But the women that are in the club are our type of people.
Yeah.
There's nobody I don't like in the club. I don't think there's anybody.
No.
I think we're just a nice bunch of girls.
Yeah.
I've got a vast knowledge of different people. I mean, just look down here at the girls that are just have displayed their cars.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah's, that you'll see shortly, it's a remarkable car.
Yeah.
She's a remarkable girl.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
Yeah.
You just met Katie. I
Yeah.
take it he's going to in that order, but
yeah.
what a remarkable young person. And again, Natasha, and that 100-mile drive here.
Yeah.
That's proper classic car driving.
Yeah. And so last minute and stuff as well.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, 18 miles, and I'm proud of that. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And yourselves, like with your big collection, and you're encouraging everyone and being so helpful and willing to get involved.
Yeah.
Why did you want to be part of having a stand here? Because obviously I can offer to put a stand on, but it's so dependent on having you all buy into it as well. So why did you think we needed one?
I'm an enthusiast, and I've been doing various things with classic cars for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And in those 25 years, I've encountered so many misogynistic, sometimes assaults actually. And I mean, for the business that I used to run, I used to employ gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's call them guys. And, you know, if I bring one of my cars out the back of the car transporter, a passerby would always talk to the guy. People would, on funerals, they would always talk to my staff.
Yeah.
And then they would sort of be told that the cars belong to me, and they'd sort of back up.
Yeah.
Because women can't potentially have a car, can they? Let alone 29.
It's never the first thought, unfortunately.
It's not, is it?
Yeah.
And I think that's why this is such a good idea, is because we don't have to pretend to be something else. We're not just somebody else's wife that's got a car.
Yeah.
These are our cars, and we love them. And I, you know, I've got all the time in the world for you for doing what you do, and the money, you know, it's not a lot of money, but you must be putting it into it, because how else can you do what you do? So we appreciate it. So thank you.
No, thank you, and thank you ever so much for bringing the car along and helping out on the stand and stuff. Because you can't, like I said, I can offer to put one on, but you need the buy-in from everybody else.
Yeah, and everybody's equally been, you know, as enthused with everybody coming by. We've had a lot of men coming by, not realising really actually it's a women's group, but it doesn't matter, because most of them have got daughters or wives.
Yeah.
And so I've sort of said to them, have you got a wife? Have you got a daughter? Are they interested? Do they drive cars? Are they classic cars? And some of them have been.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll join up.
Yeah.
And maybe see this.
And we've done quite well for people coming up and hearing about us. And I think at last count, I'd had about 15 extra applications just from this event, and we're about Saturday afternoon, and I don't think I've checked it for a couple of hours.
Well,
so that's
I mean, people aren't going to necessarily do it as they're walking through here.
Yeah.
So they might potentially do it next week or whenever, but it doesn't matter. If they want us, then they know where we are.
Yeah. And they know we exist now, because we've made a beautiful display of brilliant cars and brilliant women.
I think it made a bit of an impact, really. I think people are a little bit sort of taken back by the fact, hang on a minute, women like cars, what? Of course we do.
We've done a little flyer, haven't we? And it's I made it up as like a little newspaper, and I put the headline that women love automotive too.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And that's the headline of this, I think, that's what we're about.
We do, and some of us have got it. You cut me in half, and I literally have got
rubber, metal, vinyl, all the way through.
And you know, Mush is the same. She doesn't get the same sort of coverage as I do, because she's not as chatty as I am, but she's just as enthusiastic as I am. And she likes her types of cars, and I like mine. We try to meet in the middle, sort of, in the garden. I mean, you know, we've got a pot of keys. Can you imagine the size of the pot of keys?
Well, I've heard about this mysterious, Sultan of Brunei's pot of keys.
Have you?
And I reckon you're a rival
maybe
to that in terms of this huge pot of keys.
I never knew he had such a big pot.
Yeah, apparently. A huge kitchen drawer, I reckon.
Well, you're a fountain of knowledge. I mean, I bow to your knowledge of things.
In random areas, not necessarily useful.
It's okay, I'm very random myself. People will tell you that, you know. It's not everybody that knows about Chinook aircraft.
No, well, that might be a story for a later podcast.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it will be.
But thank you ever so much for coming along and bringing the car and everything.
Thanks,
and I hope you have a brilliant rest of the weekend.
Thank you. You too, love.
Well, that was amazing. I love all of these women that have brought their cars along. I'm so grateful to them, because these stands wouldn't be anything without the people that make the effort to bring their cars along to these events. And it's just been such a fantastic time to have that space to talk to people who have come along to the event for the day. We're just wrapping up here at the NEC on the Saturday. Got another packed day of it tomorrow, and it's going to be a brilliant weekend all told. Probably my favourite NEC that I've been to in the 3 years that I've been, so that's fantastic. But in the meantime, drive safely and happy motoring.